Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where I was looking around a little bit here, off camera, and I was noting that even as we've built up our fleets, the Skenurians are still overwhelming to us, so are the commonality of Azon's Crucible. And then I was looking at some of their planets here, and I was noting something very, very interesting. That's not a gateway there. Is that the case on this planet? Well, we'll find out. Let's see here. Planet. There we go. Yeah, look at this. So the AI is really spamming out these fortresses. And I think that's the reason why their fleets are still so much stronger than ours. I think it's not that their fleets are stronger than ours, it's that they have more of them. So if we look at this, every single one of these is producing 24 fleet cap. So this right here is producing enough to run a full extra fleet. That's a lot. Like, that's definitely a change from last time I've played. And that's a ridiculous amount. No doubt about that. Now, we're not quite where we want to be economically, so we're not really going to make a pivot over into building fortresses yet. We'll get there. I want to be making about $12.50 a month on alloys. And that's going to take a little bit of time. No doubt about that one. This generator world, we can definitely get a system capital complex on. But as of right now, our navies are just not a match. And that appears to be the case. I don't know if this planet is that way, but that appears to be just something that the AI is doing. Yeah, look at that. 5 fortresses. They're just spamming fortresses, which means that they have huge, huge fleets. Well, not really huge fleets, but huge numbers of fleets. Our fleets can compete with their fleets. They just have more of them. So they could theoretically attack us at more places than we would be capable of defending.
Incoming transmission.
That is, of course, not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. We'll accept that embassy. That's fine. Okay, so what else do we have going on here? Well, we have a bunch of anchorages. Anchorages are, I think, a little less efficient at that, aren't they? +6, so each anchorage, yeah, that's pretty inefficient, I feel like.
Construction complete.
Okay, so the BOS Mississippi finishes its construction there. And obviously, we are going to need a lot. Right? We're going to need a whole lot of fortresses if we want to make that happen. So how much naval cap do these guys even have? Do we know? I don't think there's a way to tell that. That's their empire size. So their empire is broadly similar to ours in terms of size. That's fine. It's just the sheer number of naval cap. The Zadrians have displayed psionic potential. Okay, sure. But I think that's a pivot that we need to start making in Stellaris. I think that's very, very clear. So we're just going to need space for that, right? So places like Alpha Centauri Prime. What else can we expand here? The answer is not much. There's not much that needs to be expanded here. So this would be actually a good location to build in strongholds. So each of these is going to produce 12. So that's 24 naval cap right there, bringing us up to 1250. That's all well and good. At this point, we can also come down to Monakadir and get a corvette building. We can already basically expand another fleet, and I definitely want to do that. So we'll get that going. We can look into some of these other worlds here, like this mining world. Let's see, we've got those locked building slots there. This is a system capital complex. So realistically, I would like to swap an agriculture district here for a city district, and then get that set up as a stronghold here. A lot of these aren't going to have jobs yet, right? So that's going to be a relatively low priority. This means that we need 2 city districts here unless we have a decision to up the size of the planet. But I don't believe that we do. No. So that means we need 2 city districts
breakthrough
here.
achieved.
On this factory world, we would swap one of these agriculture districts over for a city district. And we're still lacking a building slot there. Okay. Let's go for, say, explosive weapon damage here. I think that's reasonably fine. On this mining world, we can swap an agriculture district here as well. Our food appears to be pretty decent and pretty steady. I'm not too concerned about that. On this forge world here, this is a planetary administration. We could definitely let that grow for a while before we really can find out what we need. Okay, so on this tech worlds are going to be full of research complexes, obviously. It's primarily going to be these forge worlds that we're actually going to switch over. So this is the planetary capital. We know we get 1 more building slot there, so 2 city districts is what we would need to unlock all of these building slots. Okay. Now, I definitely want to come down here and get the allegedly 4th fleet, but we're actually going to make this be, what, the 7th fleet? Yeah, we'll make this be the 7th fleet. This goes up to 50. And then, of course, we add in frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and titans. 50 frigates. There we go. And I believe 18 destroyers, if I recall correctly. 9 cruisers, 4 battleships, and a titan. Like that. Yes, that's correct. So we do something along the lines of this. Obviously, that's going to put us over our current naval cap. That's fine. So we're going to look for opportunities to put in those fortresses. I think that's very, very important at this point. But we also really need opportunities to put in additional alloy generation. Alloy generation is very, very important here. Energy weapon attack speed looks good. Let's go ahead and get energy weapon damage. Cool. Because at this point, we just feel really outnumbered. I'd like to get aggressive. I would like to do that. But like, for example, the Uvzant autocracy here. They're superior to us, so they're probably not that much higher in terms of fleet power. We can probably handle that. But they're in a defensive pact with the commonality of Azan's Crucible. We can't handle that. So we know we're going to need a lot of power to deal with the endgame crisis as well. So I think this sort of a massive buildup, both economical and in terms of naval cap, is going to be important. We could also build anchorages, up to 6 of them. And I think that's a decent idea. What if we were to build them over here? So, for example, in Vokan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so those are all underway. We can definitely, we definitely extend our research. There we go. We can definitely continue to pump out ships here, and we'll do so. That's fine. This industrial world here, I do think that putting in an industrial district is the way to go here. Let's see. This is a planetary capital, so we're going to need 3 total city districts, and then the rest of these can be industrial. Cool. This does mean, and this is a robot. Okay, let's go ahead and resettle this somewhere. Let's put this robot on, say, this mining world. There we go. Cool. The Groknaplorin just declared on the Galactic Uvzant autocracy. Under most circumstances, I would look to coattail this and grab all of this territory. Who all is involved here? Commonality of Azan's Crucible, Kingdom of Yonderim are on the side of the Uvzant. They're against the allied Adnoran systems and the Garoan Collective. They've also got this going on, which is just the Groknaplorans. That's not a threat to them. I'm quite confident in that. Do we have to get a month tick to get this information? We should have intel level on them. That's what our sentry array is supposed to do. Maybe we have to month tick this. I don't think this is a great opportunity for us. It might have been. Yeah, the Groknaploran are not a threat to them at all. And the allied Adnoran systems and the Garoan Collective. So this is the Garoan Collective out over here. They are actually already fully occupied by the commonality of Azan's Crucible, or nearly fully occupied. And the allied Adnoran systems are down here. They're also occupied. So if we were to declare this, we would get pretty overrun. This is not our time. Okay, we'll proceed. We're looking for opportunities. Unfortunately, that wasn't one. But we need to be looking for those opportunities. So we've got a Forge World over here. Definitely we put in an alloy foundry. A civilian industry would also be good here. And let's see, this is a reassembled ship shelter. We've got a long ways to go here in terms of building slots. So no real problem there for the moment. What else do we have going on here jobs-wise? Not much is the answer. We'll continue to reinforce our fleets here. Okay, about 29,000 alloys to make that happen. 28,000. Okay, that looks good. Our interstellar assembly is now fully operational. So the only megastructure that we don't have fully upgraded now is our mega art installation, and we are lacking 25 relics for that. As far as I know, there's no easy way to get 25 relics.
Incoming transmission.
So that's not going to be a thing. The Groknaploran want to establish an embassy.
Complete.
Okay, sure. Maybe we end up getting some refugees out of this war.
Construction complete.
But this is definitely...
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Oh my. Okay, this is the commonality. Right. Yeah, this is definitely not the time. They are not in a weakened state at this moment. So we finish up all of these, right? And we definitely want to get them all upgrading. Cool. We don't need to take them up to citadels. Only to the penultimate upgrade. But let's go ahead and put in a pair of anchorages here and a naval logistics office for each of these. Anchorages and naval logistics. Anchorages and naval logistics. So that's 3 of them. Anchorage, naval logistics. Cool. Anchorage, and naval logistics office. And Anchorage, and naval logistics office. Cool. So we definitely do want to pivot into getting more naval cap. I think that's incredibly clear right now. Because the reason that I embarked on this on this quest, I guess we could say, of looking into what's going on here, is because I expected these guys to at least be down to superior by the time we get to this point in our military construction. This is very clearly part of the fleet combat rebalance that happened in the last major update. This is my first campaign since then, so we learn these things. Sounds good. So it definitely looks like on non-tech worlds, like on worlds that are based around districts, right? On those worlds, yeah, the Groknaploran are already gone. On those worlds, we should be looking to fill out these building slots with fortresses.
Scientific breakthrough
Fortresses used to be a
achieved.
waste. Now they don't appear to be. Naval cap here would be nice, but honestly, the repeatable tech is not the main way to get that. I think for the moment, we're going to go for the fleet command limit. And that looks good. Okay, Yonderim got their Juggernaut done. No problem there. Cool. That's a job on Jura. This is a tech world, so this is, of course, filled out with research labs. We'll go ahead and get a research complex built here. No problem. We're at 898 alloys at this moment, and continuing to reinforce. So this number will drop a little bit as we continue to build ships, but it's not going to drop a huge amount. There's an urban world here. Now, I've got the 2 moat harvesting traps. Simply a planetary capital would go a long ways here. I do still want to get an alloy foundry in. The alloy production is extremely important. Like, having the number of ships at the beginning is huge, but we're going to need to be able to replace those ships at a reasonable rate as well, right? That will also become an important factor here. So I think that's all fine. These will get upgraded eventually, and that will boost up our naval cap by a reasonable chunk. But honestly, anchorages appear to be far less efficient at this point than what the AI is doing, which is spamming out these strongholds. And we do already have these here. Now, we're not prioritizing our worker... Oh, these are actually worker strata jobs, too. Right, that is helpful. And these guys can work soldier jobs. Serviles can work soldier jobs. That's huge. That's huge right there. Okay. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. We figured it out. Okay. These guys, they can work soldier jobs. I'm so happy about this. Okay. So in that case, we build the stronghold here. 100%. Like 1,000%. That's a stronghold. On this refinery world, there's not much else that we can do here. Realistically. This is going to have to be resettled, and we can manually do this. Let's move this over to, say, Grumium Prime. Nice. Okay. Looks good. Yep, that all looks good. So we're up to 1260 naval cap now. We're gaining 400 from pop jobs at this moment. I love it. So I knew that those pop jobs did generate naval cap, but I didn't think that the AI was spamming them as hard as they were. So with that in mind, we need to do the same just to be able to compete. That's the way that this works. I don't necessarily think that that's the best job to put there, but it is necessary to be able to compete. So we need 2 city districts here. For the time being, that'll do. We'll visit each of these as we see pops that are unemployed. So that'll be fine. No real problem there, but on this Forge world, we have a robot. Can robots work soldier jobs? Now, that's an interesting question. There's also a lot of moat harvesting traps that we can put on this planet. And we are low on volatile moats. So I think for the moment, we will put in the volatile moats. I don't know if robots can work volatile, like, moat harvesting jobs. That is worker strata. Yes, robots can work moat harvester jobs. Beautiful. Okay, so that looks great. What else do we have going on? We're mostly just looking for jobs popping in at this point and reinforcing our fleets. But look at this. We're up to 1274 naval cap now. That number is increasing dramatically. We do need to continue to upgrade our star fortresses. So we're going to put in another pair of anchorages on each of these. And we're going to need to upgrade them eventually one more time. But we'll get these anchorages in here. There we go. That's, I believe, all 6 of them. And we're going to have to upgrade these, right? Achieved. Oh, explosive weapon damage. Sure. Let's go for minerals from jobs. Okay. And let's get all of these queued up for upgrades. We're going to have to wait on the month tick here. I'm noting that job on Ouija Prime. We'll get to that in a moment. On Screeching Abyss, we'll get that going. And then all we need is this queued up for upgrading to Star Fortress. Cool. Okay, let's check in on Ouija Prime. We'll come back to Damia in a moment. This is a meta Istran. This is easy enough. We just get a research complex. Okay, on Damia, we'll get this done now. There we go. So our anchorages are going to be nearly fully upgraded. They're not going to quite be there yet. And looking at this, 1352 is our current target. Okay. How do we get to 1352? I guess the Juggernaut? I guess. Huh. Interesting, because I was thinking all of our fleets are multiples of 220. Interesting. The Surveyor's been activated, and we get 9 additional minerals over here. That'll help. I don't mind that at all. Let's take a look through our jobs here. We need to do quite a lot of work, jobs-wise. This Forge world has a robot job. I'm assuming a robot can perform a soldier job. So we're going to put in a city district here for the building slot. And then we will put in, if it doesn't become a clerk, we will put in the soldier job there. What else do we have going on? Cool. Looks like a whole lot of nothing. Looks good. So these are going to be busy for a while, and we're not going to need that many more alloys for them. Let's just go ahead and reinforce our fleets here. Now this is saying 1336. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's fine. We need like 12,000, 10,000 alloys to get this maxed out. But I definitely think that this is our way forward to be much more powerful. Definitely. Furthermore, arguably, this means that we no longer need to have these be slowed down by 10%. Because we have a good, useful job for the robots and for the serviles, since they can be soldiers. This means that we don't have to be taking that 10% growth hit, which is absolutely huge. We are, in fact, very, very happy about that. So we're just moving all of these back to being any species. This appears to be unnecessary since serviles can work in soldier jobs. We may have to move them around a little bit, but what else are we going to spend our energy credits and our unity on, right? That's the question at that point. So let's just go through all of these worlds, and I guess we can be unpaused while we do this. It's technically more efficient to have it be paused. But let's just go ahead and unlock all of these. Can we just hit this button here? No, that would be nice if we could, like, right-click this button or something. Alas, that doesn't appear to be a thing that we can do. But yeah, we don't need this 10% growth malice if we have jobs for them that we can do now. We'll just have to check what species they are before we decide what we're going to build. And, I mean, we're doing that anyway, so no real problem there. Cool.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we're going to finish all of this up eventually. There's a number of worlds in here still. We have like 63 total worlds. So it'll take a little bit of time to get through all of this and do this. But, I mean, we don't have that much going on anyway. So this is okay. This is on any species already, apparently. Cool. So is that. Okay. Surely we're almost done with this, right? Yeah, that's the last time we're going to need to scroll down. Good. Good, good, good. Again, technically this would have been more efficient to do this when we are paused, but I do want the game to be ticking forward here because there's a lot of not very much going on. That's a weird way to phrase it, but there's definitely a lot of not very much happening. So we're going to continue to tick forward as we do this, even though it's slightly less efficient. We'll get all of this set up here. Fantastic. Okay. So now we should be growing faster again, and that is a big deal. A very, very big deal. Let's go ahead and get our fleet all almost fully built. Emphasis on almost, sadly. We're still lacking about 6,000 here. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue massively expanding our naval cap. Look at that, 1327 already, and we've barely started on this. We'll activate the surveyor. There we go. Cool. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Spartan News, Unisol, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.